Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today I have a new ranking for you. Another video based on the songs of The Doors. So I'm going to be ranking the closing tracks of The Doors. I will only be doing the Jim Morrison album, so there will only be 6 songs that I will be ranking today. But before I begin, if you haven't subscribed and you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. So this is actually another reason for this video. I wanted to just do a quick mention of this is 50 years, or the 50-year anniversary of the death of Jim Morrison, who died, I believe it was July 3rd in 1971. So that passed a couple days ago. Actually, my good friend Peter, he has a channel called the Lizard King channel. He did a really good video on it, and he talked about Jim Morrison, and he showed all of his Doors vinyl. So you should check that out if you haven't checked out the Lizard King channel. I'll put a link to that video in my video description. I think he did a really good job on it. And Peter's been one of my first YouTube friends since I started doing this. But anyway, I'm not going to waste any time. So basically, The Doors, most of their albums end with a big song, like a song that is fairly long, like 8, 9, 10, 11 minutes. There are 2 albums that end with a 4-minute song, so I will be talking about those. So these are just going to be a ranking from 6 to 1, and let me just jump right into it. So number 6 from the album Morrison Hotel. The last song is called Maggie McGill, and it's a short song. It's 4 minutes long. It's just a simple blues-based song. I kind of like the guitar playing in the song. It has slide guitar, it's pretty cool. The keyboard sounds pretty cool. The riff is fairly simple. It is kind of used throughout the song. I put this last, not because it's a bad song, but it's just the least memorable songs out of all of the closing tracks. Because the tracks that I'm gonna mention right now and from here on in are pretty much all big songs. Coming in at number 5 is from the album The Soft Parade, and the title track called The Soft Parade. This is an album, I had it when I was young, and I kind of struggled to kind of get into this album. And this closer, it's a strange song. Starts out with Jim Morrison kind of speaking as he's like a preacher. Now the intro does feature a brief guitar intro, and it almost sounds like it's like a children's lullaby. It's, I don't know, I guess it's the guitar, it might be a xylophone, I don't know. But it just, the song progresses, and at some point it becomes this weird disco song. It's kind of weird. It is pretty cool, the guitar matches the vocals. I like that part of it. It does kind of go into that children's song mode again. Jim Morrison is kind of doing some weird rhyming. It's a very, like I said, it's a strange song. Then there's one part of the song, it's oh, this is the best part of the trip. Then it kind of just completely changes. It becomes this funky, bouncy song. It's an 8-minute song. There's not really a lot of structure. It's more like a jam session. The song ends, he kind of does that whole preacher voice again. It's an okay song. It's just very strange. It's not one of their big songs. I think these next songs, 4 through 2 and 1 are big songs. So let me get right into those. At number 4, from the album Waiting for the Sun, I have the song 5 to 1. This is also another one of the shorter closing tracks. It's only about 4 minutes and something long. Just based on the blues, it's a very simple song. Robert Krieger uses distortion and a simple riff. Some people have said that this is a precursor to heavy metal music. Now, I did find it interesting that the guitar solo on this was basically an influence for Ace Frehley when he did the song She, which was on one of the early Kiss albums. And that solo was an influence for Pearl Jam song Alive. So I did think that was pretty cool. But this is a good song. It's fairly simple, but it just has a nice beat, has a nice stomp to it. And I like it a lot. Coming in at number 3 is from the album Strange Days, When the Music's Over. Now this is one of their big songs. It's 11 minutes long. It's basically divided into 5 parts. Really cool lyrics to the song. A lot of psychedelic keyboards. This is a very trippy psychedelic song. The guitar playing, like the lead guitar playing is really good. And just really cool, like psychedelic guitar work. I really like the solo. It's kind of like unlike anything we've heard before. Just like a lot of like crazy like sounds going on. You know, the middle of the song gets pretty cool. You know, like I said, there's like different parts. Like it kind of slows down. You know, that bass line is like really like, you know, memorable, sticks in your head. You know, Jim Morrison mentions a line like, what have they done to the earth? Supposedly that's like one of the first examples of like environmental consciousness. I don't know if that's true, but something I just read. And it's just a pretty cool song. It's just a long song, but it's interesting because there are different parts. There's some spoken word parts, there's some like drum fills, like short drum solos, some quiet parts, some like loud parts with like a lot of like keyboards and like psychedelic things going on. You know, there are parts of it that kind of reminds me of like a little reminiscent of Light My Fire towards the end. But still, it's just this is a really good song. It's just like one of their big like epic songs. So that's my number 3. And number 2 is from their debut album, The Doors, called The End. Now this is again a long song, 11 minutes. It's just a very slow song. It evokes a lot of imagery. You know, it also, you know, it was used in the movie Apocalypse Now. So it does, like when you do hear that song, like you just do think of the intro to that movie. But actually the original like origin of the song was completely different. It was basically Jim Morrison wrote it to be about a breakup with his girlfriend, and it has like some singing parts and some spoken word, and it's basically he's saying, you know, like this is the end, it's all over, and it's kind of like a way of saying goodbye. So it's a really great song. It's just basically very poetic, you know, very like poetic lyrics, really great. And the guitar work is really good, and you know, it's a very laid-back song, but it's not one you don't get bored of it. Many people have said that this could be like psychedelic rock. Other people have called it hard rock. Robbie Krieger's guitar playing is really great. You know, it has been like an influence from like Indian music. Again, a long song, very iconic song, and you know, this is the end. But this is not the end of the video, because my number 1 is Riders on the Storm. This is from the LA Woman album. And it is basically like the last Jim Morrison song. And I chose this as number 1 for one reason. So basically last night, you know, a lot of times when I have a tendency to wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes I have trouble sleeping. And what I do, a lot of times I would maybe like look at my phone, I'll go on YouTube and maybe watch videos sometimes, or I'll put in my headphones and I'll put on some music. And I chose like a classic rock playlist. The first song was Going to California by Led Zeppelin, and you know, that was kind of a nice song to listen to. But then the next song was Riders on the Storm, and that just basically turned everything around for me, because it just relaxed me so much with the thunderstorm and the rain, the quiet, like the bass line that just carries throughout the entire song. There is like a little bit of guitar on it, but it's mostly like a keyboard driven song, but it's very slow, droney. Jim Morrison's voice, he just, you know, just the way he's singing, you know, Riders on the Storm. This is such like a calming song. Like I got to like the end of the song, and you know, by then I was able to take off my headphones and I was able to just like fall right back to sleep. And it was just such a calming song with the rain and the raindrops and the thunder and just the bass and Jim's like calming voice. And that was the reason why I just chose that as my number 1 song. And that wasn't even planned. I mean, I knew I was going to record this video, but I decided to put Riders on the Storm as my number 1 just for that reason, just to tell the story. And that's basically it. So let me know 6 songs, what would be your ranking? You can put it in the comment section, something we could talk about. You know, maybe you would have some of the other ones higher, some of the other ones lower. And that's it. So coming up this week, actually tomorrow, I get my second COVID shot. So I may take tomorrow night off depending on how I feel, but I only have 2 videos planned for this week. I want to do Red Hot Chili Peppers ranking of the album, since kind of as like a springboard for my video that I did with Brian. We talked about our top 10 songs, and I basically spent 2 weeks listening to the album, so I might give a couple more spins to a few of the albums, and I can do a ranking on the albums. So I think it's a perfect time for that. And also Def Leppard's High and Dry. I didn't mention that last week. I wanted to do the anniversary album review of that one. So I'll probably get that one done first, and then maybe like Wednesday or Thursday I'll do the Red Hot Chili Peppers ranking, and then by Friday there will be some new releases, and I'll do those, and from there on, see what's going on. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please check out the in-video links. I'll see you in the next one.